Hiya, buddies, and welcome to the first Afterburner of the season. The first Afterburner of the season after a win. It's Boomer and Pinder here live at GRETA tonight. Our home away from home. We're going to be hanging here this year.
What a night.
What a night. What a night.
Our buddies showed up tonight. Our buddies got to witness a late rally. Maybe rally's the wrong word. A late, whoops, we gave up the lead, and then we get the win. But
never trailed. Never in doubt.
Fair.
You know?
I mean.
Yeah, they were outshot kind of 2-1, and I was looking at the shots, 38-22, Winnipeg.
Yes.
24-13 shots, 5-on-5.
Scoring chances.
Chances 33-10.
Yeah.
So, you know.
The good news, the Markstrom fears, some of them, or many of them at least, can be put to bed. And do you remember, by the way, how we started Afterburner last year? It was like we were like 1-11-2 in the first.
Yeah, we were.
It was so bad.
We were horrendous luck for the Flames.
Can we crack a beer to like a fresh start and new beginnings? How do I not have a beer here?
How do I have a beer and you don't?
What is going on here? Yeah, okay. We had someone give me a beer.
We're here at GRETA. Check them out online, gretabar.com. You know where they are, 10th Ave here in the city. There's nothing like GRETA. It's a club, sports bar, arcade,
live music,
street food.
Great food.
It's a great vibe. We're happy to have it here. We have it was our season opener party here tonight. A bunch of our sponsors showed up, a bunch of the listeners. We raised some money for kids sport.
We did.
Gave some tickets away to a certain outdoor event that's coming up later in the month.
Still can't figure out what it is, but people were very excited about it. Apparently it's in Edmonton.
Yeah, where spirits are low right now.
I didn't have a chance to look after it was 7-1. Did it get worse? Or?
Yeah, 8-1. Calgary Flames defeat the Winnipeg Jets to open up their 2023-24 season. As we get into Afterburner, we're doing these after every Flames game this season, home or away, weekends, weekdays.
82.
Going to be a rotating, rotating cast. You're not going to be so fortunate to always have Pinder and I looking so cool.
Yeah, it's not always going to be a night at the Roxbury.
It's not always going to be hanging at GRETA, eating hot dogs, you know.
Oh, and the nuggets.
Having nuggets.
Oh,
it's not going to always be like that.
I'm a fan of the nuggets.
I hear you. So again, we can't say enough about GRETA. Great host for us tonight. If you've never been to GRETA, get here. You're going to enjoy it. And after Flames game, they're going to come in here. They're going to come pouring in here right away.
Yes, I think by the time we're wrapping Afterburner, it's going to be like you're going to have to queue up to get to the basketball pop shop game or whatever you call it. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to it.
Let's go.
We watched the Flames tonight. They outplayed, outchanced, outshot, all of that. But to your point, on a serious note, we watched the first shot on goal go in night after night. It felt like it was a recurring theme. Tonight, Jacob Markstrom was tremendous in the first period.
Yeah.
And he's the reason they get 2 points tonight. Makes 35 saves. Shots were 38-22, and he was brilliant.
He was, and it doesn't mean that he didn't have a goal or even two that he wanted back. I thought the third one that tied the game late, it's an easy freeze of the puck. Look at the clock, look at the score, don't throw it back into play. And, sometimes we find him a little too keen to play the puck. And then why? Well, because it was the line that was out there, and then he goes, post crossbar in. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's a great finisher. That's Scheifele, tie game. But there's no way they're even in this game. And how many times did we see this script the other way last year where you're the team with 38 shots and the other's at 21 and you're losing because you can't get goaltending?
Yeah.
It felt like the anti-Sutter game tonight, or at least the anti-22-23 game, in the sense that the shots were 10-2 at one point, but the Flames had an early lead. It was not the opposite.
I saw somebody take a screen grab of the score bug in the top where it was, Flames are winning, but the Jets are out shooting 2-1.
Yeah.
So it was a complete role reversal or a complete reversal of fortune from a year ago. Now, with Markstrom, make no mistake, he did move the puck after that. There were some D-men and some forwards that could have bailed him out of there.
Sure.
The play in their zone was not good tonight.
No, I think there's a lot of film to review in terms of structure and like, what are we doing here? Because it didn't look cohesive, organized, or like the system that the coaches have on the whiteboard was executed.
It felt like, okay, we've got one more preseason game left. Let's tighten things up and get ready for the regular season.
It's actually a really good point. I thought structurally they struggled. it just felt like they surrendered way too much for a team that under Darryl, when they were really bad, it was like, okay, maybe it's a grade A here or there, but never did we see continual chances and the volume and the consistent volume on net at your own end. And that's what we saw in Markstrom tonight.
Yeah. Happy for Andrew Mangiapane. 2 years ago, has a career year, 30-plus goals. Last year comes in, injures himself early on in the season. His numbers suffer, and he continues to play through it, and we wonder what's wrong with him. Why is nothing going right for him? Yeah. Well, he's injured, and there's a bit of bad luck. Tonight, he has 2 goals and an assist, a beautiful assist, and we'll maybe take a look at it coming up on the game winner, and then gets the empty net goal. I thought he was great tonight. Happy for him.
He was, and it's a guy you're rooting for because you saw it was a weird split 2 years ago. All his scoring came on the road, and then last year he had the bad first half. And like, well, maybe he's going to get going in the second half, and he kind of did. And then it's like, oh, and by the way, we found this in your exit meeting. You need surgery, and you're like, okay, if that explains some of the snake bittenness about him, because he did start to get back into the fabric of the game a little more in the second half of the year last year. Let's hope that this guy could return to form, because without him, you wonder where the goals are coming from. If you can put him down for 30, you feel a lot better about this team offensively, don't you?
Started the night on that line with Backlund and Coleman. By the third period, was elevated to that top line on the right side like we saw for a little bit in the preseason. Huberdeau, Lindholm, Mangiapane, and they started to get traction there. I have a feeling you're going to see them together here for a bit.
There's a bit of a juggle late, and I get it. They just didn't really hold a lot of the puck tonight.
And credit to the coach, right? His first official game, I guess, if you want to call it that. He was interim or stood behind the bench when Darryl had COVID or whatever it was.
Darryl had to come through protocol. Yeah. So
this is the report card for Ryan Huska starts tonight. Shift things on the go, shuttle them, get some guys around, and try and find a spark when you needed it. And it's easy to. It's night number 1. In Edmonton, they lose a lopsided fashion while it's crumbling down. And here, everything's great. But for one night only, I like what you see. It's easy to win when you're playing at your best.
Yeah.
When you can win when you're not at your best, that's the mark of something a little bit more.
100%. And again, it just comes back to me. If you had told me the way the flow of the game went, the scoring chances, the shot volume, and the goaltending, last year, you're wearing the blue uniforms tonight. This year, they finally are on the end of a game where you get outplayed but actually win, and your goalie was better than the other guy. That's a good sign. It's one game. We don't want to overreact. I also kind of think Winnipeg might be okay this year. They made the playoffs last year. They had the ugly second half that I think really is, stained everyone's memory of their season. And why not? They were awful, and then they got pumped by Vegas. But this is a team that could be a good team in a Central Division that I think is much more open than it has been. We know Colorado's good. We know Dallas is good after that.
Yeah.
Why not the Jets? And maybe we'll look back and say, that was a win against a quality opponent. Because if they're a bad team, I worry about the Flames with giving up what they gave tonight.
Yeah, I think they are a good team. And again, this would be a very different story if Markstrom wasn't at his best. He stones Kyle Connor in the slot, made a couple of great saves. That one save at the end of the second period that would have tied it at 3 at that time. I think it was Perfetti at the side of the net.
Yeah.
That allows the Flames to get to the room, regroup, come out with a lead. I think that's big. You give up a goal there at the end of that period, you can feel like we're barely hanging in here, and now we've given up the lead. It's a different mood going into that third period.
And I thought they did, aside from allowing the game-tying goal, which is kind of the only thing you want to prevent, but I thought they did do a good job of throwing the wet blanket on the game a bit, slowing things down, more whistles, fewer chances. It wasn't like watching the first 15 minutes of the first where it was just a barrage on Markstrom. I thought, it wasn't a piece of art, but they did a better job of saying, okay, we have a lead. Let's make sure we're stout defensively. And it was great until, again, I thought it was a bit of an ill-advised puck play from Markstrom. And yes, other guys could have got it out, but there's less than 6 minutes left. You lead by 1. Always freeze that puck when you're winning.
It's
top lines out there for the other team. Why, right?
Yeah.
Critiquing, but yeah.
You know who else was here among the luminaries? Mandeep from BK Beaufort Liquor, one of our great sponsors. He's here. He's actually hovering over us like a
jackal
right now. If you look up to your right, he's perched up there like a vulture.
Oh, he is.
Waiting for one of us to pass out so he can take away
our father.
Yeah, almost, maybe.
Yeah.
Back and better than ever for another year here at Afterburner. BK Beaufort Liquor, Mandeep and family. Great family-run business. You got to support them because you got to love them. Located on the Trans-Canada Highway across from Winsport, beside McDonald's. Have you seen their new sign?
The sign is done. It was a bit of a war, but you know what? It does. They don't ask how long it took. They say, how sexy is it? It's damn sexy.
Mandeep's late for work.
Good.
He's late for work every day because he just stops. God, that's a good sign. Mandeep,
that's a good sign.
Here. We got the customers. Oh, sorry. You got to see it for yourself. Stop in, hook up, get yourself ready for your trip to the mountains, whatever the case may be. They're on the west edge of the city. Great people. On Twitter, at BK Liquor. On Instagram, at BK Beaufort Liquor. Mandeep and family, good people.
Chatting with him, he wanted to give a nod. And last year we did the cheers of the game. We're going to mix it up a little this year. Mandeep was one of the OGs.
Is he calling his shots? Is that what he's doing?
He's calling it for tonight, and he's here, and I'll let him do it.
It's not in my notes?
It's not in your notes because he's here, and he was feeding us Pink Whitney, so he's got a little more leverage than he normally does. Markstrom gets his cheers tonight, and I think what you said about Mangiapane is dead on. That's another candidate, but those are the two guys for me. Maybe Uyghur in the sense that, like, remember how long we waited to see some offense from him last year? Good start for him, but he said his cheers, he's raising it for 25 in net tonight because there's no way they're in this game if he's not great in the first.
Could have been a blowout in the first, and the mood in that rink and with that team would be completely different. So that's a good choice. It's a good choice for sure.
Good choice, Deeper.
On one guy that, again, whether you toasted the game or whatnot, fourth line gets a goal. They get a short-handed goal. Their top line gets the game-winning goal and the insurance goal or whatever you want to call it at the end. If you go back and watch the goal by Uyghur, face off in the offensive zone, they lose it. Walker Duer goes in, beats Schmidt on a puck battle, sends it back to the point to Zadorov, over to Uyghur, scores. That's the stuff you love to see if you're a coach. Lose the face off. Okay, well, go still in their zone, win a battle, win a race. Took it right off of Schmidt, and it was in the net 3 seconds later.
Face-off's a 50-50 battle. So is the one in the corner you won. Good work.
And that's the fourth line that you've been very vocal about. You did not like it a year ago. You're much happier this year.
Well, and look, it was fine. And it wasn't that Lucic and Lewis didn't provide things. You know, Lewis was a great penalty killer, trustworthy. They were very neutral in terms of chances against for fourth lines. Luch wasn't awful. I mean, remember where expectations were when he arrived in Calgary. That was still a great trade for them. But the time has come, and for a team that didn't skate well enough, now you see Greer. Now you see Ruzicka with a big setup on the first goal tonight on the second PP unit, and you get on the right side Walker Duer that piston up and down the wing.
That was another one that and we'll talk about Sharon Golovich in a moment. But yeah, it was a good team effort in this one. Everybody probably leaves the rink feeling pretty good about themselves after this one. Back for another year on Afterburner as well. One of our great partners and sponsors, Derek Newman. Derek Newman of Newman Dean's Real Estate Group with CIR Realty. Buying or selling, let Derek do the work for you. You can email dnewman@cirrealty.ca or give him a call at his is it his personal cell phone?
He'll answer that call
right now.
I mean, he might be at Dutton's, but yeah, he'll answer the call.
All right, 403-619-6661, 403-619-6661. Thanks to Derek for being a sponsor from day one and to being back in with us. Newman Dean's Real Estate Group. Derek Newman, good guy. Let him do it for you. The email again, dnewman@cirrealty.ca. We talked last year, Lindholm not playing with Huberdeau. Despite the struggles, despite both guys' numbers just in a complete ditch, Sutter would not put them back together.
Yeah.
When we talked to Huska midsummer, I guess right after he got the job, that they're going to play together. We're going to have to make this work or find a way. They, to me, look just fine. It looks like two guys that should be able to play together.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily on the 90-point Huberdeau train. Like, you know, Frank had some bold predictions when he passed through last week, and I enjoy how keen he is on some of those. It's always good fodder for conversation. I don't know that I see an elite game breaker, but where were they when they needed a big goal? Well, Lindholm tucked it in, and then there was Huberdeau to ice it. How good's the passing? He puts that off the post right to Mangiapane.
Yeah,
how many guys can do like what a great passer?
Yeah, he's so good. His best left winger. So only he can pull that off. Two helpers for Huberdeau with that one. How it didn't go in, I don't know, but Huberdeau, 2 helpers, Lindholm, a goal and 2 assists.
Well, and not an insignificant goal at all. You talked about it. Like, that game's tied, and the building goes from like, yes, we can believe in these guys again, here we go, to like, how did you blow it with 5 minutes left in the third? And that really was like that. I felt like that was the biggest outpour of emotion of the night.
That goal is our highlight of the night, brought to you by Betway. Get the Betway app on your phone. Bet the responsible way with Betway. You mentioned it. It's a great play by Mangiapane down low and just sends a soft little, your teammates has picked up that guy standing by himself at the side of the net. But you watch Mangiapane, great play. That is your Betway highlight of the night. Bet the responsible way with our buddies at Betway.
So are you you're going to hit that over on Mangiapane points? He's on pace for 240, right? Something like that?
It would have been one of those things because when he first came back to town, he was at that golf tournament, and I had surgery.
Yeah.
I've been rehabbing. I'm not ready for contact yet, but we've talked about this a little bit. I don't think we can appreciate what it is to rehab. You've gone in for surgery. It's not like, oh, I'm a little stiff. I'm going to get a chiropractor. I'm going to go get some physio. You go under the knife.
Yeah. This
is your career, and you're coming off a disappointing season.
Right.
To be able to rehab, come back, you feel like, and I don't know, did you pay close attention to how he was in the preseason? Like, he was okay, right? But how much stock do you put into preseason?
Not much.
To come out and be a factor in this game and then get that bump to the top line and make the most of it. I mean, it sucks for Dylan Dubé, who started the night there. It's a long season. Things can change. But for right now, to come back from the surgery and cash in is great for 88.
What a goal. And what a pass, and the timing of it. I mean, you feel great for the kid. I just think of his journey. Late pick. You know, the OHL was like, are you sure you don't want to go play junior A? Like, we don't think this is for you. I believe Dale Hawerchuk was instrumental in Barrie with him. Then he goes to Stockton and literally works his way up that roster and into the Flames organization. Then it's fourth line, second line, or third line, second line. And where is he tonight with the 2 best? Like, how do you not cheer for this guy? I'm sorry. It's not a 6'4", 8th overall pick. This is the underdog. You'll love to see it.
And there are some guys who are 6'2", 6'3", and you wish they would go to those hard areas and play with that type of intensity. And he's out there, whatever he is, 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". I don't want to shortchange him. Sorry, Andrew, but he goes to all those tough areas. That's why you love him.
Well, and real quick, when he didn't look quite himself in the first half of last year, he didn't do that as much. And when we got to the new year and he started to score a bit, you're like, there he is. He's in the paint all the time. He's always going to the difficult areres. Good to see him doing that tonight.
And was injured. We find out at the end of the season he needed surgery. One other got to talk about Coronado. Loved his game. He's not afraid to shoot it. And boy, I would bet every coach along the way for the last probably 10 years, 12 years, shoot the puck. Don't be afraid to shoot it. That shot first mentality. You hear that catchphrase a lot. Just shoot, son, because he can shoot it. And he almost had a backdoor goal there in the first period. Man,
and if you saw the show today, I had the Coronado first goal at 22-1.
Yeah, you saw the shot of his mom and dad in the stands, and they were like, on the. I'll tell you, it's not going to take long.
No.
With what you saw in preseason and what you saw tonight, I don't think you're going to have to wait very long.
3 shots, 6 shot attempts, and it doesn't feel like a guy that's going to have a tough time getting pucks to net.
Get some power play time.
Yeah, first unit.
So, and there again, you're happy for him. I feel for a guy like Jacob Pelche, who was geared up and ready to be part of the youth coming in and being a part of it. He'll get there.
He'll still be there.
But it's when you can have that opening night, parents in the building, that's a special night. We'll see how many games it takes for Coronado to get his first, but like what I saw so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an exciting young guy to have. And again, without him, tell me about your favorite right shot forward. I mean,
well, sure.
Lindholm's the center, so right winger. But, I mean, you love Dewar. He's on the fourth line. It's been an organizational need since Iginla left. Here's a finisher that can beat goalies from distance, and he's a right-hand shot. And he doesn't need the HL seasoning. I think everyone was willing to grant him. It wasn't a half year in the A. At least it doesn't look like it's going to be that to get to the NHL. It's straight from Harvard to the NHL, and he looks like one of their best finishers.
Shout out to our partners, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. You've got the casino. They got things going on in there. You want table games, you want to play slots, they got it going on. But also over at the event center coming up, it is the return of the Halloween Howler. Grey Eagle Event Center hosts the Howler. Billy Talent.
Yeah, okay.
Gob.
And
which rhymes with job, apparently.
Yeah, gob rhymes with job.
That's right, yeah.
So not goob.
Not goob,
Yeah,
Ryan.
I did say gobsmack the other day. You had to correct me.
Yeah,
on
it's
that.
not gobsmacked. You can be gobsmacked, but the band is not
We were at
gobsmacked.
the Grey Eagle. I saw a signed
That's right.
guitar.
My buddy Beef would not be happy with you.
I know.
Billy
I'm sorry,
Talent, Gob, and the congregation. This is coming up on the 28th of October. Event starts at 8. General admission. You need to be 18 of age to get in. You got to be 18. Sorry. You got to be 18 if you want to come and party with the Halloween Howler over at the Grey Eagle. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.ca. It is a big one.
We got the comments coming in.
Yeah, we got some comments. The Edmonton Oilers opened their season against the Vancouver Canucks.
Big 8-1 win.
8-1 loss.
Oh, a lot. Okay.
It was a fun night, and this is usually how it goes.
Yeah.
When one side basks in the glory, the other side probably took a real shit kicking, and that was what happened tonight. So yes, the Oilers are definitely going to miss the playoffs, and the Flames are going to cruise to a division championship.
82-0.
We'll see how that goes. But it's what it from here. A, Calgary. B, a long ways away, and C, don't really have an attachment. This is a team that has Stanley Cup aspirations, and the thing is, it's not just the fan base that feels it. The fan base is being told, "Yeah, no, you guys are a legit Stanley Cup contender." To come and lose 8-1 at the end of the day, it might be the best thing for them to refocus, to not kind of sift through a few games playing half-assed hockey. They'll be back at it when they play again. I think it's I'm trying to think. Forget
it's
who
home and home with Vancouver. So they'll play
say,
again
yeah.
on Sunday, I believe, against Vancouver. Change of venue, so they'll be in Edmonton on the weekend.
Yeah. So either way,
Brock Besser 4 if you need him.
Yeah.
The Brock Lobster.
Poor Casey. Casey's the guy here at GRETA. He's a big Oiler guy. The one takeaway he had is at least both goalies let in 4, so you can't. No one's going to take more shit than anybody else.
I mean, it wasn't
one
a
way
great
to look at
start
it, Case,
from Jack Campbell, and it felt like this was we believe in you. You're going to be our opening day star. Can you get ready, Stuart?
Yeah.
Get stretching here.
I think that's going to be a hard one for the Oilers and their fans, is the money that's been committed to Jack Campbell.
25.
He's a terrific guy. He's a wonderful human and had a great stretch of play in Toronto that got him this contract.
Yeah, in an environment that was very goalie friendly, but yes.
I do not know that he is a
Campbell for Vezina. There it is. Thanks for the comments.
There it is. Yeah.
So I did overhear it, and it resonated. The Oilers' loss may have extracted more joy from people in our room than the Flames win, which there was significant joy for.
There was some real joy. The Lindholm goal was there were a lot of high fives and hugs going on. Equally so when the final buzzer hit and the Oilers skated off.
They were chanting "na na na na, hey hey hey, goodbye." Which they're not eliminated from the playoffs. They might go 81-1.
If the Flames want to be good here and let's keep the Battle of Alberta going,
yes,
then I'm all for it. I got all kinds of time for a Battle of Alberta with some serious meat on the bone. That probably covers it. It's game 1, road trip. We've talked about this. You like the road trip? It's a chance to
love it.
You get out of here, you get together. For some people, they don't put a lot of stock into it. I do. I think it's important to come together as a team. There's not a ton of new faces, but still, the fact I think the coaching change changes the whole thing.
The whole mood. And that's what I was going to say. If this is Tampa Bay starting with a 5-game road trip, it doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
But it's a team with a new coach, a new GM, and it's a group that didn't like showing up to the rink last year because they were miserable. And there was a rain cloud, and you better not smile or laugh. And this gets them on the road. Pittsburgh, Washington, Buffalo, Columbus, Detroit. There's some good teams in there. There's some mediocre teams. And, there may or may not be a cup contender in there, but more than who they're playing, it's just be together as a group, reload, reset, and to be fair, they're probably going to have to work on some systems, I think, too.
Yeah, they'll try and find some practice ice somewhere in there as well. But we're pumped to be back, man. We got another great season of hockey coming here. We got Barn Burner rolling, Afterburner after every single Flames game, road, wherever it is. We're doing these shows and we're bringing them to you. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it whenever it works for you on YouTube. You can download the audio to listen on the way to work the next morning. It's wherever you get your podcast. Barn Burner, the same thing. We got a lot of things coming for you. Pretty excited. And this is the first of a number of visits to GRETA over the coming hockey season. So thanks to GRETA for the hospitality and for putting on a great show and hosting our clients and taking care of us here tonight.
Yeah, big shout out to McLeod Law as well. They're our event partner. So anytime we leave the studios, we're doing something, it's with them. And as we told the group today, stay tuned. We got big things. We got some adventures coming up we want you to get involved in. And again, it's 82 Afterburners, and we'll be back from the studio tomorrow on a Barn Burner.
Appreciate you. Flames win it. They defeat the Winnipeg Jets over at the Saddle Dome. Road trip coming. So far, so good. Feels pretty good, buddies. Good night. We'll see you.